Hello, Coachella Valley. Welcome to Live with Your Chamber. I'm your host, Katie Stice, CEO at the Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce. We brought you this series because we love to bring you all of our small business owners, nonprofit executives, and CEOs telling their stories about who they are and what they do, because the name of the game is shop local, shop small, get to know our local business owners and professionals and experts in their field. Today, I'm super excited. Jennifer Jank is joining us with Productivity Injection. So if you need a little bit of a productivity injection, stick around and learn a little bit more about Jennifer. But let's bring in our guest now. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Hi, Katie. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you're on because everything you're going to talk about is right up my alley. So I'm just a nerd for all of this stuff. But before we get into everything that is productivity injection, because it's so cool, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Katie. Well, I have been here in the Coachella Valley since about 2017. I'm originally from the East Coast, and I had most recently moved from San Diego to here. So really enjoying the Coachella Valley since I've been here, although I am up in Desert Hot Springs. It's not too windy today yet, so so I'm enjoying that. So for about 20 years, I worked in the financial industry, and I spent the last 10 years as a personal financial advisor, and that's actually kind of how I got into productivity, because I started getting into neuroscience because we always wanted to know why our clients weren't doing what we recommended them to do. So we'd say, we'd be in the financial planning meeting. Oh, this sounds great. Oh yeah, we're going to do it. And then when I followed up with them 6 months later, had they done it? No. And it's all about how the brain makes decisions and how the brain works. And that's really what got me into productivity.
Well, let's just jump into it again to productivity, because we're going to talk a lot about it. You're the expert here. I've already got a bunch of comments of people saying, everyone needs to know more about Jennifer Jank and what she does. So what's the basis for productivity?
Thanks, everybody, for your comments. So I think what a lot of people don't realize is that the basis for productivity is actually your brain. Our brains did not develop in front of computers. We didn't sit around on the savannah talking through StreamYard and typing on our computers and doing tax returns and financial plans and all of that. So our brains are used to a different way of working. And when modern culture kind of, runs right into the brain's preferred way of working, that's when people start being unproductive.
Sure, absolutely. And why should everyone out there really care about me being more productive? I mean, is there some specific reasons that really resonate with you and with others?
Yeah, so the first thing I always want to make sure that people know is that I'm not talking about trying to get 37,000 things done every hour and working 14 hours a day. That is not productivity.
Thanks for clarifying that that's not what we're talking about here.
I did want to be very clear about that. We're not talking hustle and grind. And actually, so productivity allows you to get more done in a shorter period of time. And I think especially during the pandemic, and working from home, when people's work and home are getting kind of mixed in together, it's really important to be able to say, okay, what are my priorities? Did I get my priorities done? And if that's the case, then yes, then I get to go home without feeling guilty because I got my work done, and I got to go home and do the things that I enjoy. So another thing that I think the pandemic brought home to a lot of people, and that's kind of what ran into the Great Resignation, right, is everybody kind of took a look at what they were doing, and they said, boy, a lot of people are dying. Is this what I want to do with my life? Do I really want to be grinding away for 14 hours a day? Is this something I really want to do? And I think a lot of people went, no, I don't really want to do that. I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to wait until I'm 65 to then maybe enjoy my life. I want to do it now while I'm working. So productivity is the best way to do that, just to make sure that you're getting the stuff that you really need to get done. Because we have this culture of busy and, I'm so busy and I can't do that, I'm busy. And so there is there's almost a stigma if you say you're not busy.
Right.
But really, what you want to be doing is actually getting the important work done and then going home and doing the things that you enjoy, spending time with your spouse or kids or pets or the activities that you love.
I love
And
that. It's almost like what you do, what you're an expert in is you put together a productivity plan, it sounds like, so that people can get done exactly what they need to within a certain time frame and then enjoy life and not, you don't need to feel overwhelmed every second of the day when you're at work. And for those of you who are out there watching, should you feel that way, Jennifer's information is right on the screen. But you go into different businesses and nonprofits, and you really help the entire team as a whole. Is that right?
that's right. So I actually have two kind of major things, programs going on. One is the productivity injection, where I actually come in and do an assessment of where the productivity gaps are. And then I can look and say, okay, well, here's your current state, here's your ideal state, and then we map out a plan to get from here to there and then help you implement it. And that's really for the whole team. I also do half-day workshops. Generally, I actually prefer to do things in person when I can. And I know some people are still, a little bit worried about COVID, so I can do them virtually. But I really enjoy like coming in and giving a workshop in person, giving an interactive thing about productivity where it's not just me talking at you for half a day.
That's also very nice. Well, and when you were talking earlier, you were saying, productivity is not about, 14, 16-hour days and accomplishing 385,000 things. Tell me more about that. We talked a little bit before we went live about people who are, say, you need to get up at 4 a.m. and accomplish XYZ by like 6:10. Tell me a little bit about why that works or doesn't work.
Good question. And it doesn't work if you are not an early morning riser. So I think, so there, one of the things, and part of my interactive workshop, and this is actually really kind of fun because I do it in a way where everybody can see what everybody else is, there are different sleep chronotypes, which means that there are different times of the day when different people are more willing or able, their brains are like ready to focus on the important stuff. And so matching up your focus time with the really important stuff helps you get through, be more productive, get through your stuff in a shorter period of time. But you do have to know what your sleep chronotype is. And they were always talking about earlier, people were talking about night owls and early birds and morning larks, whatever. And I always thought, well, I'm either one of those. I am most definitely not getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning unless I have to catch a plane. Other than that, no, I'm not doing it. But I also don't want to stay up really late unless I'm partying or something on the weekend, right? So it turns out there are actually 4 sleep chronotypes. So there is the early morning type of people. They are the lions. And so if you're a lion, waking up at 4:30 in the morning and doing all this stuff before 7 actually might work pretty well for you.
Yeah.
But only for lions. Only for lions. So I'm a bear. And so bears are actually pretty typical. About half the population are bears. And so 9 to 5 actually works pretty well for us. My focus time is really good between, say, 9 and noon, 9 and 1. Yeah. Or could be like 10 and 2, kind of depending. Then there are also the wolves. Those are the late risers. And then dolphins who don't get very good sleep. And there are some things to try around sleep hygiene that might kind of help dolphins get a little bit more sleep. But essentially, if you're an early bird, right, your focus time is going to be shifted forward. If you're a late riser, then your focus time is actually going to be a little bit later in the day compared to lions and bears. So yeah, so it does work, but only for certain people. So if you know that you don't like to get up early, I am giving you permission to ignore all the gurus out there who are telling you to get up at 4:30. Don't do it.
Find things that work for you. I mean, at the end of the day, it really is finding out what works best for you. And I think what you said was so important too, in the way you assess a team. What works for one person might work differently for someone else. And no one is right or wrong here. It's just, it's important to understand how other folks work. And then as a boss, I think that helps you understand even better how to manage your employees, because really, overseeing a team of people, whether that's 1 or 25 people, it's really about helping them to be successful, finding the ways that they're going to be the most successful. Let's jump over and talk a little bit about technology and what role technology might be able to play in productivity.
So this is an interesting topic because it actually both helps and hurts, and mostly it hurts.
Okay.
If you use it the wrong way. So this is the biggest enemy. By the way, mine's turned off completely. This is the biggest enemy of productivity.
Yeah.
Because when you're easily distracted, so if you have notifications on and your phone is constantly buzzing or beeping or booping or vibrating, and you're constantly taking your mind off the thing that you're trying to focus on and work with the phone, it takes you a lot longer to do the job, right? But the other thing is it's actually wearing your brain out. Mm-hmm. So brains were not, when humans were on the savannah trying not to get eaten by tigers, there wasn't really a lot of multitasking going on. It was really expected to multitask. You see a tiger, you run. Otherwise, you're kind of in the village, maybe you're foraging or you're playing with the kitchen village, whatever it is that you're doing, but you're not trying to do, you don't have 5 tabs open on a computer. So for brains, multitasking, and by the way, multitasking isn't actually possible. If you're doing 2 tasks that are cognitively demanding, your brain's actually just switching really quickly back and forth between them. It's not doing 2 things at the same time.
Right.
And so that's why it's so tiring. So if you spent a day where you're kind of constantly all over the place, at the end of the day, you're exhausted and your brain is exhausted because you're basically working against your brain. Your brain kind of wants you to do one thing at a time. Doing your important thing during the time that your brain is most ready to do the thing really helps you get a lot more done. And to the extent that you can batch your tasks together, like do all of your emails together instead of like working on something and then looking at your email and working on something, looking at your email, work on something, look at your email, work on something, look at your email, and as long as you let clients and people know that you only check emails during a certain time, it's fine. It's just that they don't know and they're expecting you to respond immediately. But I can tell you, I know a lot of people who have decided to only check it during certain times. They let people know. People get it.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And even I've told folks, hey, I'm not going to be on my email all day today. I have a big project coming up, and we understand that, I think, about one another, and mostly it's, get it, girl, do your thing, make it rock, and let's touch base a little bit later, So I do think people are very understanding. I think sometimes it does take, though, communication on your end to say, typically I check emails the second half of the day or the beginning of the day, or it might take me a day or 2 to get back to you. And that's an okay conversation to have. I know part of what we do here at the Chamber, a lot of things are time sensitive, but we try to make sure we're at least communicating to our members. It might be a day or 2, but we'll make sure we get back with you. Outside of the work day and the work hours, are there things that we can do that will help with productivity when we're at work?
So here's the fun thing, and I do like to talk about this because, again, I am giving you permission to go play. We typically think of play as being for puppies and kittens, but actually adult humans need play too. All of the things that I was talking about earlier when I said, okay, you want to squeeze your day into a reasonable period of time so that then you can go do hobbies, activities, play with friends, do the thing. All of those actually feed your productivity. So you can kind of think of your productivity as like a tank. Okay. And so what do you do to fill up the tank? The weird thing is, and people don't realize this, the weird thing is that things like exercise actually fill up your tank. Things like hanging out with your kids actually fill up your tank. Doing the things that you enjoy fill up your tank because it's not work, so it's not something, all of these things like hobbies that you enjoy and spending time with other people, these are things that the brain is wired to like. And it gives the brain a rest from all the cognitively demanding stuff that you do at work. So being able to do that not only is enjoyable, so it's going to lower your stress levels, right? And you're just going to be able to enjoy your life, which is a great thing. And the added bonus is that it will actually help you be more productive the next day.
Oh, I love
because you're filling up your productivity tank.
that's right. Well, it's all great advice. You've got lots of fans out there. I'm reading Carrie McDonald and Rhonda Henry, and people just love you and what you do. And I think, I don't know, I'd love to know what you think about this. From my perspective, I think it's a great time to work with someone like you because we're finally reopen, mandates are gone. That really does something for the community, right? It there's a lot of hope and inspiration there that we're safe, that the community is safer, we're in a healthy place as a community. Tourists are coming in. Businesses are really trying to figure out the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
year and trying to be productive, probably get those machines all turning again and running again. And so, what are things if someone were to reach out to you in that state, just revving that engine back up? What are some things that you would be able to uh, do with them or for them to help them do it in the right manner?
Right. So I think for a lot of businesses, it's really going to be along the lines of workshops. And I do, because there are businesses like, say, law firms that really can't afford to take a half day out of their billable hours, right? And so a lot of times for them, so the 4 hour workshop is divided, the half day workshop is literally divided into 4 hours. So each hour has its own topic. So what I do for them a lot of times is I can do a brown bag lunch. And you can bring me in every week for a month or however it is that we want to work together. I'm pretty flexible as far as how you want to structure it.
Okay.
And then people who really feel like I am stuck and we're not being productive and I really don't know how to get this moving might be a good candidate for the kind of the longer program.
Excellent. Well, I can't recommend you enough. And for everyone who's out there and you're in that state that the chamber is in and we're watching all of our businesses. Hi, Pamela Williams. Hello. For everyone who's out there kind of trying to figure it out, what's nice is you don't have to have all the answers. There are experts like Jennifer out there with productivity injection who can help bring the pieces together. It can sometimes leading a company can feel very lonely, and you've got to figure it all out. And we've got a big year ahead. And the nice thing is that there are resources out there that can help bring the pieces together and really have it make sense for you. So I'll just encourage folks to give Jennifer a call. And I'm always impressed every time we speak about how you really do make sense of everyday things. And so I appreciate you for that. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Katie. I'm really glad that you had me on. And I have to say, I really, because I am a member, as you know, but other people might not know, I am a member of the Rancho Mirage Chamber. And I think you and your chamber do really good things for us businesses. Excuse me, especially as smaller businesses. So I really wanted to thank you for everything that you do.
Oh, absolutely. We're happy to do it. And I think, between, resources like the chamber and expertise that you have, we can really help lead the business community into a much better place throughout this next year and into future years. So thanks for your leadership and your support. And thanks for coming on today and sharing.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks for having me.
You got it. We'll see you soon, my friend. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much for joining us today. I see all kinds of great comments on here. She's amazing. Yeah, I know. It's so cool because we get to work with some of the most amazing and passionate business owners, and part of my job is coming on and just sharing them with you. Isn't that awesome? Thanks for tuning in today. We really appreciate it. As you know, we've got a great year planned ahead, and we hope that we can help you professionally, your businesses, your nonprofits, just the community in general. So please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know how we can be supportive. We've got great things coming up, a Back to Business Expo, a legislative lunch, Taste of Summer Rancho Mirage, all these great business builders, events to connect you with the community. So don't stay a stranger. It's time to come on out and explore how to build business for the balance of 2022 going into 2023. We'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.